Learn English through story. Echoes of passion. In the heart of a bustling 19th century European city, where the cobbled streets twisted through shadowy alleyways and opulent mansions alike, lived two souls whose passions would echo across time. The story of Marcello and Elena was one of beauty, desire, and a fire that would burn brighter than the fleeting joys of life. But like all great passions, it carried its own shadows and consequences. Marcello de Luca, a renowned artist, was a man of duality. His work spoke of light, grace, and the human condition in ways that even the greatest philosophers could not fathom. Yet his personal life was riddled with unrest. His fame had brought him wealth, lovers, and acclaim, but it had also entangled him in the strings of societal expectations, always threatening to suffocate his true self. Beneath the layers of success, Marcello's heart yearned for something more profound, something raw and untamed, something that would transcend the fleeting applause and the gold coins thrown at his feet. One evening, at the opening of his latest exhibition, where the city's elite had gathered to marvel at his latest masterpiece, Marcello's eyes fell upon a woman standing alone by one of his paintings. Her beauty was understated, yet there was an air of confidence about her, a certainty in her stillness. She was Elena Moretti, a poetess known for her sharp wit and unflinching passion for social reform. Unlike the other women to fawn over Marcello's fame, Elena's attention seemed distant, her gaze fixed not on him but on the emotions that stirred within his art. For the first time in years, Marcello felt truly seen. As the evening wore on, Marcello found himself drawn to Elena. Their conversation was unlike anything he had ever experienced, free-flowing, unrestrained, full of ideas and dreams. They spoke of art, of politics, of love in ways that went beyond the shallow pleasantries exchanged in the salons of the city. Elena's words were fire, igniting a long dormant hunger within Marcello, a hunger to live more authentically, to create not for the masses, but for himself. That night marked the beginning of an affair, one not just of the flesh, but of the spirit. Elena and Marcello became each other's muse, feeding off one another's creativity and passion. They would meet in secret, in a small apartment on the outskirts of the city, away from the prying eyes of society. There, amidst the clutter of paintbrushes and manuscripts, they would create their own world, free from the constraints of propriety and expectation. For a time, their passion was intoxicating. Elena's poetry grew bolder, more daring, while Marcello's paintings took on a rawness, a vulnerability that captivated even his harshest critics. Together, they felt invincible, as though their love could conquer anything. But as the months passed, the very thing that had brought them together, their passion, began to unravel the delicate balance of their lives. Marcello's obsession with Elena began to consume him, and in his art, he found himself painting not for expression but as a way to keep her close, to capture her essence on canvas so that she would never leave him. His works became darker, more desperate, reflecting the growing turbulence in his soul. Elena, too, felt the shift. While she loved Marcello deeply, she began to see the cracks in their relationship. What had once been a source of inspiration now felt like a cage, a suffocating need that drained her of her independence. She had always been a woman of fierce intellect and passion, but in the shadow of Marcello's desire, she found herself losing the very parts of herself that had drawn him to her in the first place. One evening, as they lay together in the dim light of their apartment, Elena spoke the words that had been weighing on her heart for weeks. "Marcelo, I cannot do this anymore," she whispered, her voice trembling with a mix of sorrow and resolve. "We are consuming each other." Marcelo's heart sank. He had felt this coming, but he had refused to acknowledge it, clinging to the hope that their love could endure, that it could survive the intensity of their passion. "You are my muse," he said, his voice thick with desperation. "Without you, I am nothing." Elena shook her head, tears welling in her eyes. "No, Marcelo, you are so much more than that. But you must find it within yourself. I cannot be the source of your art, of your life. You must live for yourself, not for me." The silence that followed was deafening. Marcelo wanted to argue, to beg her to stay, but deep down, he knew she was right. Their love, while beautiful, had become a fire that threatened to burn them both alive. In the days that followed, Elena left the city, retreating to the countryside to focus on her writing. Marcelo was left to face the void she left behind, a void that seemed impossible to fill. He tried to paint, to find solace in his work, but every stroke of the brush felt hollow, meaningless. Months passed, and Marcelo found himself wandering the city streets, lost in his own thoughts. It was during one of these aimless walks that he stumbled upon a small gallery displaying works by unknown artists. Intrigued, he stepped inside, and as he wandered through the gallery, he found himself drawn to a small painting tucked away in the corner. It was simple, yet it spoke to him in a way that none of his recent works had. The painting depicted a lone figure standing at the edge of a cliff, gazing out at a vast, empty sky. As Marcelo stared at the painting, he felt a familiar stir in his chest, an echo of the passion he had once felt with Elena. But this time, it was different. It was not a consuming fire, but a quiet, steady flame, one that burned from within. In that moment, Marcelo realized that Elena had been right. His passion, his art, could not come from another person. It had to come from within himself, from his own experiences, his own soul. He had spent so long trying to capture the essence of others, so whether it was Elena or the countless subjects of his paintings, that he had forgotten to look inward. With this newfound clarity, Marcelo returned to his studio and began to paint again. But this time, his work was different. It was not driven by the need to impress or to capture someone else's essence. It was driven by his own journey, his own emotions. The paintings that emerged from this period were unlike anything he had ever created before. They were raw, honest, and deeply personal. As the years passed, Marcelo's reputation as an artist continued to grow, but his relationship with his work had changed. No longer was he a slave to the opinions of others or to his own insatiable desires. He had found a balance, a peace within himself that allowed him to create not out of desperation, but out of a genuine love for the process. As for Elena, she too found her own path. Her writings gained acclaim, not just for their beauty, but for their courage in addressing the pressing social issues of the time. She remained a fierce advocate for change, using her voice to inspire others, but she never forgot the time she had spent with Marcelo. Their love, though fleeting, had shaped her, just as it had shaped him. Years later, long after their affair had ended, Marcelo and Elena crossed paths again, this time at a gathering of artists and intellectuals. They exchanged a quiet smile, an acknowledgement of the bond they had once shared. But there was no need for words. They both knew that their passion, while intense, had been a necessary step on their respective journeys. The echoes of their love still lingered in the air, not as a painful reminder of what could have been, but as a testament to the power of passion, both its beauty and its danger. They had learned that true passion, the kind that endures, comes not from another person, but from within. And in that knowledge, they found a peace that would last a lifetime. True passion cannot be sustained by dependence on another person, while love and inspiration from others can ignite powerful emotions and creativity. It is essential to find balance within oneself. Passion that consumes without boundaries can destroy, but when nurtured from within, it can lead to lasting fulfillment and self-realization. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.